All right, today we're diving into something that is quite literally one of the most important resources in all of modern science. It's this massive global digital library that holds the genetic blueprints for pretty much all life on Earth. And the whole thing is made possible by what we call biological databases. I mean, just stop and think about that for a second. Every single plant, every animal, every tiny microbe has its own unique genetic code. And as scientists all over the world are sequencing more and more of this stuff, you can imagine that creates a huge challenge, right? So where in the world do we keep all this incredibly precious information? And maybe more importantly, how do we organize it so it's actually useful for making new discoveries? Okay, so let's start at the very beginning. What exactly is this incredible resource, and why does it matter so much to science and, to all of us? So at its most basic, a biological database is a digital archive. But really, it's so much more than just some giant hard drive. The real magic is in how it's designed to organize and share these just unbelievable amounts of data. We're talking DNA and protein sequences, and make them instantly available to any researcher, anywhere in the world.
The best way to picture it really is as a library for the code of life. It means a scientist in one country can basically check out the genetic info of an organism that was sequenced by a completely different team on another continent. It's this global sharing that just accelerates everything and makes modern research even possible.
So if this is a global library, who are the librarians? Well, you might be surprised to learn it's not run by just one single organization. Instead, it's powered by this amazing international network of major players who really form its backbone. You might look at these and think, okay, so GenBank in the US, EMBL in Europe, and DDBJ in Japan, they must be competitors, right? But here's the key. They're not. They're collaborators. They're all part of an international group that syncs their data with each other every single day. That means a DNA sequence submitted in Tokyo is available to a researcher in Toronto the very next day. I mean, that's a revolutionary idea, especially when you're talking about tracking a pandemic or trying to develop new medicines in real time. Okay, so we've got this colossal global library, but with literally billions of entries, how on earth does a scientist find that one specific gene or protein they're looking for? Well, it takes some seriously powerful search tools. So researchers have two main tricks up their sleeve. The first one is a keyword search, which is pretty much what it sounds like. You might search for a gene's name or a type of organism, just like finding a book by searching its title. But the second method, the sequence query, well, that's the real game changer. A scientist can take a brand new, totally unidentified piece of DNA, paste it into the search bar, and basically ask the database, hey, has anyone anywhere ever seen this before? It's exactly like finding a book just by quoting one unique sentence from it. It is an unbelievably powerful tool for discovery. Now, this library is anything but a dusty old collection. No, it's a living, breathing archive that gets bigger and bigger every single day. So how does all that new information get added? Let's take a look at how scientists actually contribute their own findings. Adding new knowledge isn't as simple as just uploading a file. There's a really strict process. Researchers have to format their data perfectly, and this part is crucial. They have to annotate it. That means adding tons of detailed notes, kind of like a librarian's index card, explaining exactly what organism it came from, what the sequence does, everything. Only after it passes all these quality control checks can their discovery get shared with the world. And all of these rules, all these procedures, they bring us to a final and honestly the most critical point. The value of this entire global resource, all of it, hinges on one thing: the quality and the integrity of the data. It's really all about keeping the science honest. So how do you maintain trust in a library this huge? Well, it boils down to fantastic data management. That means having thorough documentation so everyone knows the context for the data. It means constant data validation to hunt down any errors or weird inconsistencies. And of course, it means super secure storage to protect this priceless information from ever getting lost or corrupted. And this is why it all matters so much. Because scientists across the globe are building their work, sometimes their entire careers, on the data they find in these archives. If that data is wrong, their research could be wrong. So these best practices, they're the bedrock that makes sure biological research is accurate, it's repeatable, and it's reliable for the whole scientific community. And that brings us to the big question looking forward. We are generating biological data at a speed that was pure science fiction just a decade ago. This library is just expanding exponentially. So the challenge is huge. As we continue to map the very code of life itself, how do we make sure this incredible global resource remains a trusted, unimpeachable source of knowledge for all the generations of scientists yet to come?